Hello and welcome to the Beth of Fresh Air. And I want to introduce you to my very, very good friend, Melanie.
Oh, thank you.
She has a last name too.
So good to
Johannesson.
be here.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
super
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, your word of the year is align. Is that, if I'm
Align.
correct, you're
That-
talking about this and about that.
Yes.
And here we are aligning.
We are aligning. We are aligning. It's I've just really done a lot of meditating about the energy and what is kind of forecasting for my trajectory moving forward this year. And it wasn't about, being really busy and trying to exert extra force, but to align from the inside so that things can come to me in the timing that I'm ready for them, instead of trying to manipulate them to come in sooner.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a really big theme.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Beth of Fresh Air. If you're here, come and say hello in the chat. We always love to have your comments. And let us know if you can hear us okay. That would be awesome, just because we're dealing with a little bit of a primitive system here. I'm not super set up, but I couldn't resist the opportunity since you are here in person. So
Thank you.
Let me know if you can hear us good. We're going to be talking about my favorite subject, and I think, Melanie, it's become one of yours too, deprogramming. And as you notice, I always put a verb in the title of my streams, and so it's always giving you some indication to, in this case, deprogram. Hello, Mrs. Accidental Alchemist. Nice to see you. Good to be here live. Glad you are around. And the sound is great. Excellent. Good to know, Rebecca. Thank you. Loud and clear, Jackie. Great to have you here. And that's awesome. Yeah, so we're going to get down to it. It's funny, we had some time together before. We shared a lunch. And how do you like my hair? Melanie did it. I got a nice haircut and I don't get curls very often, so I'm pretty happy she has her nice curls as well. So it's more alignment. There's a lot of alignment going on right here.
A lot of alignment. This was, I was originally supposed to come and see Beth on Tuesday. We had made plans, and then the universe kind of crumbled them out just to come and do a haircut. And then when I told her my other option was Friday, she was like, hey, since you're here, would you like to come on this podcast? So this is the alignment. I think that, I feel like I am where I need to be at this moment. And this is really a really wonderful opportunity to talk about the work I've been doing that I have taken in some of the courses and things that you were offered, and the value and the some suffering, of course, but the value that it brings on the other end. And keeping the suffering, I think, to a minimal is key, and learning those tools. So I'm here to share some of that about my journey.
That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before we get into it, that's just to follow up on what you said, that I'm a big fan of taking the unnecessary suffering out of the deal, because it looks like suffering is part and parcel of our world here. There are certain things you can't bypass. There is loss, there is illness, there's death. And so we have to accommodate for that, rather than thinking, oh, someday I'm never going to have any suffering. But the degree to which that we would elongate that and make it, static and still, and stop it from moving and stick it somewhere in our bodies, which I think we're both extremely familiar with having done to a degree. Do you want to start, Melanie, by telling us where you were at when we met?
Sure. Yes. I had went through cancer treatment for breast cancer, and I felt that there was something deeper to this journey. It seemed like the medical team I had intact wasn't able to hear what I had to say about different things, and I challenged them, and I knew that I was going against my internal healing capacities, or it felt like that I was allowing somebody else to access to my body to heal it. And part of me kind of felt that I knew that, but at that time, being in the emotion of fear, it clouds the judgment. I feel like had I known the deprogramming tools, or the emotional release technique, or how to spiral the emotion, or dissolve the programming around that, I could have made clearer decisions. So I found that it felt like for me that I had betraying my own systems in that sense and giving that power away, which was very in the shadow of the victim, right? So when I met Beth, she was on stage at I Am in Toulon, and she said some words about cancer, and I was sketching at the time, you know, I'm looking for answers out there, and she said something, and it was like a beacon went off, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's someone here that might have some insight, or that she knows what the journey has been all about, going through that herself. And she was a presenter. I didn't see her particular talk, but she was playing some music, and it's like something took over me, and I walked right up to her, and I looked at her, and I started talking, and all I remember is myself bawling, because I felt like this human can actually see and resonate with thoughts and feelings that I may have had, and she's was the only one up to that point. So then I jumped onto JourneyCode, still being traumatized from medical intervention, dysregulated nervous system, still in survival mode. I pushed through the course as it triggered a lot of things come up for me. A lot of things I didn't really take in on that first year. I dropped out of the program for a while and just kind of tried to get my life back in order. But I did find myself falling back into some of the shadows of the archetypes. And I realized that I was going downward and not upward again. So I rejoined as an apprentice, because I think that when you learn how to teach something, you also absorb the information or the teachings at a whole nother level. So I became an apprentice for 2 years. And now where I'm using all of these things that I learned is mostly in group settings, but some in individual settings where I've also studied somatics a lot. So I'm helping people to heal their nervous systems. And what I've learned about the programs, things that we installed to try to keep ourselves safe when we are feeling unsafe or unloved or not in control. And we cannot heal those things when we are in survival mode. So I do group somatic therapies with people to help them learn how to remember what it's like to not be in survival mode. Because when you are in rest and digest, that's when healing can take place. And then, you know, they can release and let go. They are more comfortable being inside of their bodies, or actually even just teaching them how to reintegrate a relationship with their internal and what those things are saying. And the tools that you brought forward, the spiral of emotion, teaching people what those uncomfortable feelings are, so that they don't suppress and try to keep them hidden. And you know, this year could be the year that maybe you start to befriend some of those messengers, because those are the golden nuggets those are your words. You know, they are what will set you free. What I've learned is the nervous system is attached to all of it. So when you learn how to regulate your nervous system, it will give you ample opportunity to heal some of the programming that you have adopted. So
yeah, it's so beautiful how the nervous system and the deprogramming work together, and it's like you can come from either angle. I've been writing a CreatorCode module for the whole somatic world of breath and the nervous system and the vagus nervous system and everything like that. And so you can come at it. What I've noticed and defaulted to a fair amount I've started out in India with all of the pranayama, the breath work, the like hacking of the system. Oh, my nervous system is jacked up, therefore I'll use this tool and technique to bring my nervous system down. Oh, I'm lethargic and feeling apathetic, I'm going to use this other hack breath system to, you know, energize me and give me some juice. We all know it. Some people use caffeine. I would if I could. It's poisonous for my system and everyone's. But so it's really beautiful because you can use a hack to a certain degree. But what do I know? What I notice about the hacks is that they'll work for a time and then they stop working, and you have to keep hacking.
I have something to discuss on that. Something that I noticed was when you go into, I started doing my own breath control, even when I was inhaling to a count and holding and then letting the longer exhale go, I had a sensation come up in my brain. So I knew that there was something that I was trying to do there. And what it was instilling wanting control.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened?
Just for those of you who don't speak
Okay.
our language yet, that is one of the primary root programs
Yes.
that everybody deals with. It's not. I just have to give a commercial for this for a second, because the whole spiritual world is going to tell you, don't. You're not in control. Surrender your control. Let go of control. And to me, this is absolutely useless advice. It's not possible, and it's not even desirable.
Well, I think the key word is to let go of the wanting of it.
That's it.
Because it impairs that you are lacking, because we actually do have control over a lot of our lives. I mean, some of those things you talked about earlier that you don't have control of, right? But you do have control of quite a bit. So I noticed when I was trying to manipulate my breath, right away there was something that was what do you call that? Sorry. Mechanism that was trying to want for control. So I just actually sat for a while and released the wanting of control. Then I was able to use the breath as a better tool to regulate the nervous system.
Beautiful.
But I could see how that program was coming in when immediately I started to try to control the breath.
Exactly. Because we'll use the good things of, say, like good food and good techniques and the breath and everything. But when you use it as a mechanism, unknowingly, it's actually a kind of weapon that is designed, in this case, that program is designed to, if we put it in really dramatic terms, it's a killer. It says like, oh, low energy, hold still and knock your head off with some hack. I'm going to get rid of you. I'm going to change you. I'm going to put an end to this. And so when you have that disposition towards yourself of being a killer, or even a lower grade changer of who you are, it's the same way I just thought of, when you get a boyfriend and you think, oh, they could be a really good person, but they're not. So I can change them. And then what does that boyfriend usually end up feeling about you when you do that?
Resentful, probably.
Exactly. They hate you for that.
Yeah.
Because it is a kind of violence.
Because you're violating their own free will to make their own decisions to change. So
exactly.
Well, and I find a lot of people too, I was a bit hesitant to use the words deprogramming because it felt a bit like, I don't know, odd
culty.
Or culty. But I realize now, after doing the work, like, what does that mean for me? And I think what it was on my journey was, as moving forward after going through cancer treatment and who am I? And I didn't know the answer to that question because I had so many roles put on, personas or ego titles. And when, to start dismantling a lot of that is a scary thing, to realize that, I wasn't I had attachments to those things. So releasing the attachments to them kind of freed up, who am I as an expressive being on this planet? What do I have to share? How do I want to express myself? And if you don't know who you are because there's so much protective programming in place, how do you even have a path? How do you even know where you're going? How do you know the direction? How do you have any clarity?
Exactly.
So to me, that's what deprogramming did, was take everything away that I was not. All the things that I had adopted in survival mode.
Yeah, exactly. That's from the get-go. When we come to life, we're invited to take on certain identities. The first thing is going to be your name, and then your gender, And then, oh, she likes trucks, or oh, she likes dolls, or what. They're another overlay of identity. And then very soon, oh, what direction are you going to study in and train yourself in and pigeonhole yourself into? Oh, now I am a massage therapist, or I am an engineer, or I am all of these things. And you reach at some point in your life an identity crisis. When you realize, wow, I've taken on, and now I'm a wife, or I'm a mother, I'm a teacher, I'm a this, I'm a that. But internally, we know ourselves not to be that. Like, we know the truth of it, even though that mental overlay is there. So there's a lack of alignment in it. When, almost everybody, I remember this in my professional business days. I read a statistic that 80% of professionals feel like a fraud in their possession, in their
profession.
Thank you. Possession is different. We'll cover that another.
Well, I do you think that could be because they're not living their true path, that they're not really being who they really are in some sense? They're doing a more of a not a personic role, or a this is who I have to be to fit in.
Yeah.
This is what I have to be to make money. This is what I have to be to have status quo in the world.
Yeah.
Instead of,
instead of doing what you want to do, what you're passionate about, what you're, because
it's kind of like settling a little bit. Like you settle for that instead of like reaching your true potential, perhaps.
Exactly. Because if you can trade in, getting the love and approval of your family, I'm going to say this backwards, but what the unconscious mind won't trade in the love and approval of family for following your own heart and soul. That's a different stage of life. In fact, that's halfway through the hero's journey, the way that I've laid it out, where you stop asking anybody's permission. Am I okay? Am I okay? Am I okay?
Seeking validation outside of yourself.
Right. And instead you turn to the divine for any reflection or need for validation, or sense of like, is this mine to be done? But the point of identity is even deeper than that, because when you get on the path of your own passion, and like you do, you get to do what you want, right? You make your days, you make your schedule, you agree to certain things. And it's not like a workaday life, which I'm not putting anybody down for doing that, whatever they feel they have to do. And you get through certain stages. I actually have now created a document on the levels of sacred purpose, and how one of the levels is, I want to do whatever I want and not have to ask anybody's permission. But all that does, getting there, all that does is present new levels. And so it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And even though I love teaching, I love, I like get so much energy from that. I love coaching. I love the intimate relationship that both of those engender. I love my groups. I love serving the people who want what I have. Like I genuinely love that. But it's not actually who I am. And so that's where, your life, I went through experiences this summer that about that really challenged my identity. And I thought there was a few minutes when I thought my work was over. I thought my independence was over. I thought, like, why would I even keep living? I wasn't exactly suicidal, but I thought, well, at least I could check out of here. And it really, it's because so many levels of my own persona were dying.
And we talked about this earlier before we came up, is that, there's a theory in the somatic education world that the brain doesn't know the difference, whether you're physically dying or if you're part of your egoic self that you accumulated in survival mode is dying off. And it was the year of the snake last year shedding the skin, right? So when you are going to elevate yourself in the world, there is a part of you that has to die off, the part that is no longer serving you, so that you are able to move forward in that next growth stage.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to die all the time.
Yes. Yes.
Become an expert dyer.
Yes. Yes. You have to, face the illusion of death.
Yeah. Yeah.
Within your own mind. You know, it's funny because out in the world, people that maybe are into more risky behavior, I think they face the same thing, but they're more outwardly doing. So I see how people navigate sometimes in the world and outwardly do the things that can also be done internally and put themselves at less risk.
And preserve the absolute preciousness of the incarnation opportunity that we have here. Yeah. It's true. And I think they'll do scary things on the outside to avoid the scary things on the inside.
Yeah. I wonder if it internally changes. I think it might. I think there might be growth opportunity from the action part, which would be, would you say, like, the masculine part of our energy system would be the doing part, where the feminine is more to align and receive.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly.
And just learning how to work with both of those energies.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. They're both there. They don't go away.
Yeah. So I think we can have external doing activities that can internally change us, and we can also do internal. So, and just learning how to kind of navigate those two together.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. It's the women tend towards this work more easily. So I just filled my first CreatorCode course. Yay! I'm so excited. And God bless him. There's only one man.
Oh, how nice!
Yeah.
It's always good to have that reflection.
Yes, it's good to have some. Yeah, I don't want to pressure him. If you're watching this, then it's like really great to have you. And but it just is a reflection that that's easier for women. Right, to spend 12 weeks.
I think it's more natural for women to do the internal and to receive. I think it's just, we have that strong masculinity, and this is referring to males as well, not like in the physical form, but we have that, like, our masculine structure, the muscles. I consider them to be very masculine energy, but then we have the somatic, which we talked about earlier, and that's the fascia system. And the fascia system communicates with the muscles, and it covers like a sheath on the muscle. And when you can release that fascia, then you can build the strong muscles. And sometimes we go and build the strong muscles first and try to fight through the fascia that has not been lubricated or let go of. And the fascia holds on to a lot of memories of trauma, even thought trauma. When you have your mind takes in things and you develop a thought, right? And then it senses off a message to the body through the vagus nerve. And often somewhere in the body, there'll be a reaction to it. You may shudder or you contract. And if you're continuously going through that same life story, it will reinforce that behavior until you go into those parts where you are feeling pain, or you're noticing that, one shoulder leans in, or I got a sore hip. If you can go in there and finish the process, a lot of times what happens is it gets stuck. So we experience something that perhaps is scary, and we don't finish the loop, and the loop kind of gets trapped in a behavior pattern. And if we can go in there and check out the emotional content of it, what the root programs are, like wanting safety, or wanting love and approval, wanting control, wanting oneness, and kind of let those wants go, because they are what's hanging on to the nervous system, like meat hooks, you would use that term. And then, when you release that feeling, there's a lightness and a sense of relief, where you're like, whew, I don't have to hold on to that anymore. Like, what a relief that was. Sometimes there's a core wound underneath, that you may have installed yourself, that you perhaps weren't good enough, or you couldn't win, and you're always going through these same things. So if you installed it, that means you also have the power to let it go.
Yeah, that's such a key point. Exactly.
You have that authority to make that decision do I now want to carry this wound with me and perhaps sink into a bit of a victimhood, or like coming out of the victim archetype, how can you empower? Well, if you had the power to to do that and put that mechanism in place, you have that authority to lovingly, thank it for being there and say, I've got this now. I can let you go with love and not coming from a place of hate. And so learning compassion and empathy for your protection that you installed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, exactly. Yeah. And we talk about it in the truth and freedom world, like, oh, that bad guy is programming me. And you'll probably still hear me say it in those kind of same terms.
It is out there, right? For us to see and hear constantly.
Right. They're literally telling you to put a poison injection in your arm, right? Like that sounds like programming, safe and effective. There's some, but these are more the makings of programming. And that's where I get more into the fine points of, okay, so they're telling us this and they're scaring us with this. And they're, telling everybody that there's the climate's changing and we're going to have some disasters and it's all your fault, by the way. You bought the saran wrap? Oh, don't do that. And so, you end up playing both sides of it. On the one hand, say for more people like us, we might rebel against that and fight and get angry and like say, you're lying, like this. And then there's going to be the people who just succumb to it and like, oh, I'm frightened, so I'll do whatever you say. But it doesn't matter which of these sides you're on, because you are basically giving the authority of your own programming to that thing or that message or that voice. When, like Melanie is saying, in reality, just to repeat or emphasize, we have to internally decide, even if it's entirely, I want to qualify, it's always entirely unconscious, the decision to program ourselves.
Yeah. We didn't stop and go, oh, I'm going to do this now. It's all in that unconscious, subconscious, unconscious.
I just say unconscious for simplicity's sake.
Okay.
Yeah. I know that the whole Freudian system.
What's the right label for that? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just somewhere in the shadows, that you're not aware of.
That's it.
Until you can slip into, I think, that parasympathetic where it becomes aware. You feel safe enough to have a look at it now because you've tucked it away at some point.
Right. There's less noise in the signal. So because when you're in that sympathetic mode, everything's firing. Before the interview, Melanie had a nice, like just a lay down. She got quiet. And I'm handling 27 last second little details that are, and so I can feel, I'm absolutely in the sympathetic mode. When I close my eyes for a whole half a minute before, I could feel my brain searching for, did I miss anything? So it's still very much in the sympathetic. And so this is something that, it's not to say one is better than the other. We have both for a reason.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
But if we spend 99.9% of our time in the sympathetic mode, then we don't have that healing time.
Yes.
And deprogramming can be done, but it's more likely that you're going to become proficient at it when you're in the parasympathetic. Do you want to describe what parasympathetic means for those people who don't use those terms, by the way?
Yeah, I think so. What sympathetic nervous system is action oriented, but not always. So, it's just a response to something that you are taking in, and you're having a reaction. So whether you fight or you flee or you tend and befriend, or sometimes called fawn, or you're overstimulate, like it'll overstimulate, hyperarousal, right? Hypervigilance, things like that. And sometimes we get stuck in those modes. Yes, they're helpful when you have a tiger chasing you. You are going to want your legs to kick in and run away. So yes.
Right.
But,
or even a live stream to start, right? Like it's useful.
And it's something, it's useful, but it's also perceived threats that aren't there. Thoughts or ideas that you have about your experience that you're going to have, even coming on a podcast, like the experience that, it's not going to go right or something, and fear kicks in. That's a sympathetic nervous system response.
Yeah.
things like that, but things that you perceive as threats that aren't real. Right. So
Right.
you can still have a sympathetic response. But from what I understand about that, and through the things I went through, it does put you into a victim state, and it also puts you into a bit of a lack, because then you're lacking safety, or you're lacking control, or did you get it right? So I think that's maybe when, just saying this now for the first time, maybe that's when programming is installed. The shift into parasympathetic, on the other hand, is rest and digest. And that's where the healing takes place, because you're not healing in survival mode. You're just trying to get by and live. And then when you become accustomed to living in that state, to shift into parasympathetic or rest and digest is uncomfortable. It is a threat to the way you have been living, and your nervous system knows that. And that's why, like, some people may, myself included, had a hard time learning how to relax, learning, without guilt or whatever else came up, right? Mm-hmm. Because I was so accustomed to running a certain way. It's like a car engine that's calibrated too high, and that becomes your norm. So when you do start to shift over and navigate, calibrated.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Calibrated.
It took me a while.
Yeah. And so it does take some patience with yourself and relearning how to regulate yourself. So self-regulation tools.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. The
Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfectly. Yeah. It's interesting because, say, with any poles, parasympathetic and sympathetic sides of the nervous system, the active and the rest and digest sides, it's as if they're opposing each other. Same with masculine and feminine. It's as if they're polar opposites.
Yes.
And opposing each other.
Yeah, that would make sense, because I think the sympathetic would be more masculine, where the other one is more feminine to receive.
Right. But just to finish the thought there, that I suspect that they're actually not opposite at all, that they work perfectly together in tandem, just the way that's just in unity. There isn't one without the other. Now, it doesn't mean, I'm not denying that you can't, that people don't get into hyper vigilance and always stimulated and like you said, so uncomfortable if you are still in that. I remember, honestly, when I first started doing meditation in my university days, 5 minutes was the max, absolute maximum for sitting still. And then I'm like kind of crawling out of my skin, and
it's like, I gotta go. Like, because the nervous system starts to panic because it's not familiar.
And you could say also, you become aware of a nervous system that is not at rest. Not, and yes, it could panic you as well. Yeah. But just the awareness. There was one year when I really focused in on just being aware of my body and my flesh to the next level. Like, we think we all do that, but you'd be surprised how
many
dissociated,
levels
how many levels. Exactly. And I remember when I feel like I finally got in and really understood what embodiment was on a practical level, not just an idea. And it was so uncomfortable. It was just like, like this, right? Just so, so foreign and so strange, and as if I'd never been there before or something like that.
And you said the key word, uncomfortable. We have been trained in society not to be uncomfortable, and that it's not something that we actually want. We want comfort. And of course, but you have, like, low vibrating emotions, things like fear and grief, they are uncomfortable. Yeah.
And in reality, even what we consider to be comfortable is not.
Right.
Is not
there.
At its depths.
After I said that, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
That's okay. I'm sorry. I'm always like, it's true, because there are different layers. And then, so you get to a point where the realization is that every human experience is actually uncomfortable in reality. And then
that label, like, that has been labeled uncomfortable, even though it's just an experience, really, if you remove all the emotional aspect.
No? I mean, no,
Okay.
No, this is a direct observation. It's not a meaning I've given it or an interpretation. It's that, and that's been one of the bigger revelations that I've had, and I'm not the first to have it. Just that even the high energy, you were saying it earlier, even the high energy that we think, oh, now I've arrived, now I feel good, I'm courageous, I can accept things, I can be at peace with things. But if you really go deeply into those experiences, you discover how incredibly uncomfortable they are. And I think this is the ongoing work of deprogramming, is to get not to a place of comfort, but actual freedom.
Yes.
And this can be the most uncomfortable of all.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And on that journey to freedom, it's funny how my own self resisted it. It was like there was some mechanism in play that somehow I was an imposter. And I also had I thought freedom came with a cost, because I think the imagery put out there is people who go at war for freedom of a country, that somehow people have to die and be hurt and mutilated and killed in order to have freedom. And when you are coming up to somebody and saying, oh, hey, I can help you deprogram, do you want your freedom? It's like when someone said that to me, I was like, oh, that must mean horrible experiences and things.
Wow.
But where did I get that from? Well, imagery that I had seen on TV, that's how you got it.
Right.
So
right.
That's a scary thing.
Yeah.
Right. So of course the resistance comes up to that.
Right. Right. And even the really old analogy, but that when you try to take a caged bird out of its cage, it acts like you're trying to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly because it doesn't know freedom.
Yeah.
It's not familiar with freedom. But we are familiar with suffering.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems
that's
safer.
Right.
Suffering seems safer.
Yeah. Because it's familiar.
Yeah. We know it. There's something to hang on to. With freedom, there's nothing to hang on to.
No, I feel the more I do work like that, the more, what is that word called? Where it kind of flows through you. You're not as sticky. Things don't stick on so much.
Yeah.
Translucent. Is that the word I'm thinking
Could
of?
be. Yeah. Exactly.
Where
You're more
it does,
see-through, air through, or something.
Transparent.
Yeah.
Transparent maybe is the word that I'm trying to find. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that it's like you're still faced with stuff.
Oh.
There's still stuff. It doesn't mean you're free of things happening. It just gives you tools how to navigate. You can understand more of the process, so you don't feel like, a lot of the times I think when I was going through really hard things, I felt like I was floating around in the abyss. And sometimes I get like that, too much in the head, too much air element, right? Mm. It's like, okay, let's ground, let's get back into our bodies. What can the body tell me about this experience?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And the body doesn't lie.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's have a look at some of the comments here. We're missing them, and it's hard to look at two things at one time. So just wanted to say hello to Miss Maya. I'm glad you can hear us. Hello, Stephanie. Hi, Maya. Yeah, Maya. So all your friends are here. And Jenny G is in the chat. Nice to see you. Fun. Yeah, real life friends. What the heck? It's not as common, sadly, but we made it happen today. It's really good. Because Melanie, you live about an hour and a quarter, hour and a half away.
Yeah. Which is not that far, really, in the scheme of things. If
it's
you think
true.
About
well,
it.
I see you more than anyone. So
okay.
Yeah. And thank you very much. And Jenny said you always love that at the pace designed for my piece when praying, manifesting guidance. Nice. Yeah, pace is a really good subject, actually. And a lot of people feel like somehow the pace is outside of their doing. And I'm always the first one to remind them, you go at your own pace.
Yeah.
You take it on. I can continue to invite you. And I'm also going to make great effort never to push you. I have done that a lot in my past, and it never worked.
No, it creates resistance. It's like, nope.
Exactly. Yeah. If you want someone's hands to come up and they tell you to back off, then you push them.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of fine line. I'm sure you know this as a teacher, where the invitation is there. It's not you can't mistake it or miss it.
I think the invitation, like without people being more direct, they just know it's there. It's like the day that I met you. You didn't tell me what you did or what you believed in or anything, but the invitation was there for me to come and make that greeting
Nice.
to you.
Nice.
So that is kind of that, I call that alignment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you know, like it's there was no push. You weren't trying to, it was just, but you had your aura or your essence had an invitation.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And mammograms are toxic. Don't do those. I've luckily never, ever had one of those. And I'm not going to. Yeah. I don't know if you want to talk about any of that at all.
I've been through the entire, because I had no trust in myself and I was fear-mongered a lot, or I took that in. I did do the treatments. I've worked on forgiving myself because I don't think I'd be able to talk about this without crying. It was, I held a lot of grief about my choices. Did it save my life at the time? It probably did, because I had no tools. I couldn't feel anything. I was so far in apathy that I even had surgeries and came out of surgery with no feeling. And I would ask the nurse, like, hey, what kind of drugs did you give me? I can't feel anything. And they'd say none. And that shocked my system completely, because I knew I was in apathy, and but not at the time. This is looking back, because I hadn't met Beth at that point. And I just remember laying there going, why can't I feel myself? Like, I'm in trouble here. Like the red flags were going off, right? I was in apathy for so long that I didn't even feel what they were doing anymore. And then came some chemotherapy. My body rejected after the second treatment. I blacked out. I realized what was happening was I probably had a malfunction in the liver called, I can't remember the MTFR. I always call it the mother effer gene.
Okay.
Can't remember I'm not very stuck with names, but where I couldn't detoxify. My pathways were blocked, or my liver wasn't capable of detoxifying clearly. So what was happening was the toxins were actually building up in my body and not being detoxed out. So I blacked out, but they find a way. They put Benadryl inside of my body and administered it slower.
Been there.
Okay. Yeah. So
yep. When
that's it's like here you go. It's like reminds me of Snow White, where the witch says, like, here, dearie, you take the apple. Mm-hmm. I had images of that, like, so clearly, and then just me putting my arm out and offering. And it's like I said, it's been a long road to forgiveness, to myself, and because yes, it probably did save my life at the time, but it was also trying to kill me.
Right.
Right. And then taking a drug after, supposed to be for 10 years, I also was blacking out, and I could feel the inflammation building up inside. So I knew it wasn't going to be helpful, and I knew I needed something else. And finding the work that you brought forth was the something else.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you. Yeah, we really share that. And it is tempting to, maybe not even tempting, but we beat ourselves up for past mistakes. And there's this unconscious desire that we won't make that mistake again, or we won't make a similar kind of mistake. And as long as we got the hammer and we keep hitting our own head with it, that somehow that's going to guarantee this. But it's actually the other way around. That when you beat yourself up, it causes you to numb out, and then
self-inflicted
suffering.
And
then exactly, and then it's a setup for doing, you maybe don't do the exact same thing, but you'll do the same thing in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that inner work of now, I always say that forgiveness is not a technique. If you say, "Oh, forgive yourself, Melanie," or "Oh, just forgive yourself," don't be hard on yourself. I even wanted to say that, right? But it doesn't work. Then it's another layer of numbness to the reality. Oh, I was beating myself. Maybe I have even an injury as a result of that.
That would be more of like along the toxic positivity lines.
Yeah, nice.
Right there, in a whole different like degree, right? It's
exactly.
Like, oh, you don't feel that way. It's okay. It's like, no, I need to own that. I need to own the guilt I felt and the betrayal, and I need to feel through that.
Yeah.
In order to find the forgiveness, it's not something that you just flick a switch and do.
Exactly.
There's layers of it.
Yeah, I always say that the forgiveness, it is a result, not a technique.
Right. Okay.
So that when you come in and you find out, that was the revelation when I wrote the chapter on the hedonist in my book. That's the revelation of going to bed at night and having the hammer out and like, why, Beth? Why did you do that? Why did you do it again? Why did you do it again? Like this, there came a moment, a very poignant moment, where I was able to step back and see this whole dynamic, and then what I was doing by hitting myself was trying not to feel the pain of what I then termed or coined this term of an empty why. Okay, yeah. Because when we ask ourselves something we can't forgive ourselves for, why did you do it? Why did you do it? Don't do it again. What were you, stupid? All this kind of self-talk. It's avoiding the deeper pain of the meaninglessness of the suffering. Yeah. This is the most unendurable part of our existence, is meaningless pain. Because it's so far out of alignment with who we actually are. But the tendency is to bypass. I know we're really seriously geeking out, but we did promise to geek out.
Well, this is talking about deprogramming. So.
Yes, exactly. We're on topic. But that the desire to avoid pain by causing pain, like you can see how absolutely nonsensical our unconsciouses are. That this is the logic. Well, if I just beat myself, then I won't have to feel that deeper pain. Right.
Instead of just facing, like, and often you say, like, why did I do it again? Why did I do it again? Well, it's the mechanism. It's not who you are. Going back to the whole programming stuff, there's probably something underneath it, a core wound of, I can't win, or I'm not perfect. That's why you did it.
Right. Right. Like, or like, yeah. And I won't say, or it's, and so the programs are no good reason. Because they're empty. Yeah.
When you let them go, it's like it didn't even exist. It's like you didn't even have, it erases the experience almost.
Exactly.
It's like, oh.
Yeah, the joke's always on you when you let it go and you see, like, oh, wow, I acted out that program. Yeah. And yet it doesn't even exist.
Yeah, because it's gone now.
Yeah. It wasn't what I thought it was. It didn't have power over me. As it turns out, it just seemed like it did. And then, yeah,
well, I think it did have power at that time when you did act out, but it's falsity, like it's to make you feel better or superior or whatever. So you did, I see it as an acting out of something, not who you really are. Yeah. That unconditional presence of being and just being in that unconditional love. And it's not fluffy unconditional love. It's just really experiencing things from the heart.
Exactly.
It's not that, oh, everything's fine, everything's okay, unconditional love, everything, that's another thing. But it's just embodying what that feels like, regardless of the experience, like beating, like the reverse of beating yourself up, having compassion and empathy for yourself.
Nice.
Oh, that really wasn't who I am.
Yeah.
Now that I see that, okay. And I know that mechanism's in place. How can I now deprogram that mechanism?
Which is all you need to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the forgiveness naturally follows.
That is true.
It just is.
Yeah.
And there's no efforting and there's no pretending, because most people, when they get into forgiveness, it's actually denial.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, it didn't matter so much, I can
Right.
forgive. Or,
Yeah.
oh, they probably won't do it again, I can forgive.
Yeah, you're not feeling the really underlying wound there.
Yeah.
You're kind of just layering on top. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Skipping stones.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Are you guys getting this? Does it make sense? Let's see. Oh, I keep saying things the second you're about to type it. That's so fun. I love that. Em, nice to have you here. She's local too. We'll have to have a tea
Oh,
with
nice.
her. Yeah. And something about Superman. I might have missed that part. Hello, Maya. Great to have you here. Oh, Michelle's in the house. Invitation to walk into the storm instead of trying to outrun it. Exactly. Yeah, that's a really
The
big
eye
one.
of the storm. You used that terminology for a while, or and the buffalo analogy.
That's the one.
I actually looked it up. It's like, I think the buffalo are the only animal that runs into the storm. Everything else flees. If you actually look it up.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Another little.
So why is
add-on.
that? You know, goosebumps. It's like, woo, because they're brave. It takes
they're brave.
courage.
Yeah.
So, which is part of the emotional scale.
Right.
Right.
And wisdom. It's,
Yeah.
you know, that just to project, I can't say for sure, but they seem like a wise animal, and they seem like it's used as a symbol for wisdom.
They seem like they're so large, their energy, but it's like they know a lot.
Yeah.
But they're humble about it.
Right. And they live long too, right?
They do? Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm guessing now. I'll have to
Okay.
go and research the buffalo more.
Yeah.
But
something else to uncover.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, that when all you need to know about running into the storm is having run away from a number of storms repeatedly over time, you start to see, how does your experiment turn out? Does it work good for you? Do you get there? Or do you end up actually that you have to keep running from the same storm that's just, otherwise would come through.
Maybe that's where the surrender word is more not betterly used, but a good place for that is to surrender into the storm of it.
Yeah.
Not
100%.
So word usage, like, where is it more purposeful?
Nice.
I would say, surrender into the storm instead of running is where I could, that word is, I think. Yeah.
Exactly.
Good usage for it.
Yeah. I've used the word code a lot, and I used it in JourneyCode, which was the coaching training that you did. And I couldn't stop myself from using it in this new course, which is going to be companion to JourneyCode. And so I've been doing a lot more a focus and concentration on the word code and the coded nature of our world and our universe. That, everything from it's the code of an emotion that allows you to see the difference between peace and apathy, which can be a very fine line. But it's different code, right?
It feels different in the body. It has its own frequency.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with the programming. It has a certain code to it. Every thought that we have is giving us code, literally. Yeah. It's coding, not coding us, it would be a wrong way to say it. And then, so everybody deals with this. I think it's pretty universal, where they have thoughts they'd rather not have. And, say they go to do something out of their comfort zone. You mentioned it when I texted you an invitation, and you intimated that, oh yeah, some stuff came up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, right on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so one of the ways I've been learning to deal with this, to cope with it, is, or not to cope, that's a very bad word, because that's more just like
navigate.
Yeah, to navigate, exactly, is to run into the storm of the thinking and say, I'm about to take a risk of some kind, and there's the guy on my shoulder that says, you're never gonna do it, you're gonna fail. And I'll turn around, instead of go like, oh, like, get away from me, I'm trying to get something done, which makes it actually come on stronger. I will turn and I'll go, oh yes, I will fail. That's
allow yourself
right.
that experience. Yes.
And just go into
it.
that storm.
Go through that storm.
That's right. You're coming at me with your storm. Bring it on.
Yeah.
What else do you have for me?
Yeah.
Oh, another takedown. Oh, great. Okay. Anything else? You got some more information, code for me?
Yeah.
And then it's like, zip.
And I think if I'm hearing you correctly, that would be what you would call an aversion to.
Yeah.
The thoughts that you have that you think you're not supposed to have around something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's a bad thought. I'm going to get rid of that. No, that doesn't work either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just those things that you avert or try your best to not have that experience. It's just as powerful as an attachment.
You got it.
So it will also draw the experience in the things that you are avoiding.
Exactly.
So something to keep in mind as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's two really big principles in the deprogramming work that we have both attachment and
aversions
and aversion. And then you do this and basically you're creating the action of a skid steer thing that has the potential to just spin around and around.
Oh, yes.
I'm using a machine analogy just because I hang around guys and
I kind of see it as like pendulum swinging, you know, and then when you look at the things you are avoiding and the things you are attached to, eventually you get a place of, you kind of take the charge away from the polarities. Is that, am I saying that correctly? If one has a negative charge and one has a positive charge, those it becomes more neutral and then you have more clarity. So you're not swinging back and forth. Is that?
Yeah. I think of it differently.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think it's partly resistance. I have an aversion to the word neutral.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the poles do not neutralize each other, right? When you got a magnet, you got a positive pole, you got a negative pole.
Yeah.
Into infinity. This is still going to be.
So what happens right in the center of those two?
The whole thing is a movement, right? The whole thing is a constant movement.
But somewhere the negative and positive have to meet somewhere in that center line.
They're one in the whole.
Do they bleed into each other?
They're not separate from each other. There's no meeting, right? So it's one thing. We're breaking out the parts, and then as if there's going to be a neutral zone. And I don't think of it as that way.
I'll give that some more thought. I haven't really kind of looked at that whole. I mean, the things I know up to now kind of led me to explain that the way I did. But of course, there's always more to learn, right? And navigate
or just
through.
A different way to look at it,
to kind of see it from a different perspective. Yeah, for sure. I'll take a look into that.
Yeah. And then it's because the temptation is that we need to balance two poles, two sides of any pendulum.
Okay. So then can I ask a question then? Okay. So then if the aversions have some kind of polarization to them, is that true? Is that a true statement? Okay. And then so do the attachments?
Exactly.
So then what are we doing then when we are looking at attachments and aversions and releasing the programming under that? That
what you said. So releasing the programming that causes you to go from attachment to aversion to attachment to aversion tirelessly, endlessly, investing all of the life energy and just going back and forth, trying to get what you want, trying to stay away from what you don't want.
So that would be labeled as perhaps inner conflict. When you have that inner conflict going back and forth.
Oh, totally. Okay. Because you'll have both attachment and aversions, right?
Yes.
That's why you have trouble.
So they're taking up a lot of space.
Yeah. A lot of airtime, a lot of noise, a lot of activation of the nervous system, like we were talking about before. Okay. Exactly. Yeah. The mistake that gets made is that people think they need to balance those so you want to get like enough attachment and enough aversion, and then you're going to get this magic neutral. No.
Okay.
No, it's not how it works.
Would it be right to say that that's where you would have freedom to make a free will choice then?
In
where you release all your attachment and aversions, are you in a place of freedom then?
Right. So every single time you release an attachment, you find freedom that was already there. Every single time you release an aversion, you find freedom that was already there. The revelation of what I call the marriage of the opposites, which I gave a talk on. I think I do have a recording that I've never put out from an Acapulco last year, is that both sides become meaningless
Yes.
in the process.
Okay.
Where you see the illusion
The illusion of it.
of that. Well, I love these things about you, but I don't like those things about you. Well, I love these things about you. And then if I deprogram both my attachments and aversions, meaning get to the bottom, like what's in it for me? Do I lack for safety? Do I lack for love? Do I lack for control? Do I lack for connection? What motivates me to do this or this and this? So it's not about trying to make those two work together or balance or cooperate or anything like that. It is about seeing through the opposites, that in fact, the attachment and the aversion are the same. It's the same internal action.
Okay.
But we break them out and create entities that have polarity. And I don't mean entities like bad guys.
Just energies.
Just energies, exactly. Yeah. That determine and push and pull us towards what we want and away from what we don't want. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
It's deep. Yeah. It's deep, you guys.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you very much, Michelle, for inviting that. I appreciate it so much. And are we losing you guys? Let us know. Superman in CreatorCode. Okay. There you go. Thoughts on because
Joe Dispenza's Supernatural.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the only thing I know about Joe Dispenza is the epigenetics, that we have the power to kind of work. It goes back to maybe what you were saying on the code. Like we are all built with a DNA code, right? When we're born, and somehow that coding gets fractured, and they've known like things like BRCA1 and 2, they're telling you it's a genetic mutation, or different expressions of human beings are genetic mutations. So then if we have that code that had been mutated, do we have the power to rebuild the code? Is kind of, I think, what Joe Dispenza's work is all about.
Okay. Well, that's interesting, because I always say there's no reprogramming. And there's
right, because the original code is still is underneath there somewhere.
Yeah, it's possibly marrying the opposites, and then have tea with us. Absolutely. Yin and yang, heaven and earth. There's an endless number of those. What was I just going to say that I interrupted myself about? No recoding going on over here. So that's
right.
Yeah. So I have a strong aversion to the
word recoding.
Or reprogramming,
because we have the blueprint, and so that theory that we are blueprinted with everything that we could possibly need. Yeah,
exactly.
So actually, I have a bit of a goosebumpy on that one, so I'm gonna go with truth there. I'm gonna go with my sensors. Yeah,
it's part of the psyop.
I think it is, actually. Yeah. Now that we're kind of uncovering it a little bit, it does feel a bit suspicious.
Yeah. Of course, how convenient that we always feel to be lacking what we need.
Yeah.
Or
now that I said all that out loud, I'm like, oh. And part of saying things like that out loud is to actually hear yourself, and then kind of go, well, is that really true, Melanie?
For sure.
Or is that just another story? Or is that just another thing out there to make us believe that we're lacking somehow?
Yeah.
And as soon as I said that, we have this blueprint inside, like all of my body, just the senses just ignited.
Amazing.
Just like, yeah.
Amazing. So good. So good. And I've been in this situation many times. It's one of the themes of CreatorCode. I just did a video for them as an introduction. And so I have hit a blank slate many times in my life, gone through some kind of calamity, breakdown, my own cancer journey, as I mentioned, having to die so many times, all the time, dying. And then I come out of it clear because of having done the inner work, having deprogrammed. And it's just like cleaning the slate. I remember after my father died, and that was a really hard experience, of course. And it was on the heels of having done a lot of the release training and my own certifications in that world. So I had quite a community around me at the time, a lot of resources, a lot of support, and I was able to clean up, I know, a heck of a lot faster on a death that can, you
It could take a longer
can
time
take a
to,
long time for
yeah.
the death of a parent, especially. It's strangely like a major house cleaner. And then I came out of it, and I wasn't suffering nearly to the degree. It goes on, not to over exaggerate, but it was just a blank slate, and I didn't know who I was anymore. And I didn't know how I was ever going to come into the world again.
Wow.
And I had a semi-public life, like I've always had, or almost always had, for the last 25 years now. And I had nothing to come out with. I had no persona. I had no identity. Who am I? The nature of my work, I could see it intellectually, and I could keep going through some motions around it, but it wasn't authentic. It wasn't like some kind of thing. And this is where people might start to think, oh, reprogram, start put some good stuff in or something like that, right? But to me, that was not it at all. That it was actually going even more into the depths. First of all of our programming around the unknown. And, the unknown is a kind of death. To have to exist in that for 5 minutes, people like scramble and grab at things that are not really them or theirs to be done, not aligned with them. But if you can withstand that, for lack of a better word, empty space or the clean slate, without needing to start building on it and filling on it, and let that bring up even deeper layers of programming, and come to that point. And then for me, it's always in the mix is always going to be an urge to connect, to have a deeper experience of my world, because I've been in my own like bubble doing my own things. Then it's time to get out and actually talk to people and see like who's out there, because I'm not doing any work in a vacuum for myself only. It's only relative to the people that want to do it, right? Otherwise it's nothing, it's meaningless, it's worthless. And so it's always the very deepest of the deprogramming brings me into connection, brings me into awareness of where people are at. And that starts to feed back into an authentic eruption of some kind.
Yes.
Inspiration, like true inspiration that's not efforted, but it comes naturally.
Yes, I think from just listening to that, what I think of is embodying. So that's the full, I'm going to use the word integrating here, but when you do that inner work and then you go out into the public, it's like, who now exists in your reality? Because you're going out now as a different energy being, you will attract different experiences and new people. And when it's reflected back to you, like you say, it's almost like a subconscious like reflection of the work you've done. And then to me, there's like this inner kind of like a sense of embodiment.
Yeah, that's it.
Like arrival. It's like, oh, look at what's being reflected to me now. Like, oh, wow, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's something like to be said about, like that fake it till you make it. You can go out there and fake a smile and be happy and put on the face. But are you really? Like, what is it like? That's acting, but can you embody what that feels like? And it's effortless.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just there.
Yeah. And then it has a life and a momentum of its own, as if. And it's not, it doesn't mean there's not going to be work and hardship. And, it always is a double-edged, I'll just have to say double-edged sword, because I end up creating a lot of work for myself, like a ton of work, because I know that, and that's where I've got attachment to creating, and I've got aversion to creating. The aversion is like, oh, I'm going to make just a crap ton of work. I'm going to overwhelm myself. Maybe I'll, fall down and I won't be able to do what I set out to do, or nobody's going to love it, or all of those kind of things come up. And it just every step of the way, it becomes the inner work of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose it and you allow it to be. So like every single step is going to be a new layer. And I always laugh at myself. Like, honestly, I could have taken a fake it approach. I don't lack for things to come out in the world with. I've got several courses. I've never even properly promoted my book. I could get out locally and teach any range of subjects within my subject. And it's just endless. I could go in so many different directions. But to really get to that embodied place, that's become my new standard, right? So then it ends up being some new eruption to create something new for right now. Something.
Yeah, because you're not that person that built that course 3-4 years ago or gave that talk. You are a whole new human being now. So that would be almost like living in the past. Like, because there's progression that happens as we create and put things out in the world. If we're growing all the time, then there's always a new version of ourselves, building and creating something new.
Yeah.
To more present moment stuff.
Yeah, that can be a problem when you keep outdating yourself quickly.
Yeah.
I go back to old work and I'll make myself tune in with it and just see, like, am I still that person? Am I still behind? Can I still get behind? And luckily, when you find truth, it has a thread to it. And so there might be different expressions. There have been things that I've had to edit. Every time I did a run of CreatorCode, I had to go and edit certain things,
right.
Like, new findings,
updates,
absolutely.
Updates. Yeah.
So that I'm not misleading people with old ideas.
Well, because that's what you knew at the time. And then if as you learn and keep growing, you learn something different, or that maybe was not the case anymore.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of work to go back and correct too.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So
yeah, look at Garrett Smith now, who through the Love Your Liver kind of stuff. And he's the same way, very fast grower, fast learner. And so he leaves a lot of new evidence
comes out.
Yeah. And he leaves a lot of himself in the dust because of it. But personally, I think that's a cost you can afford to
moving too fast.
Have.
Well, who knows what our pace is? Only we know. Like you talked about pace earlier, it's like maybe some people are meant to move quicker, maybe some people are meant to move slower. How can we decide that for somebody?
We can't.
Right?
Exactly. So, you can only for yourself. You know your own pace. But yeah, he's like me.
Yeah.
And I would say you too.
Yeah.
So we got Superman and CreatorCode. I'm gonna have to go deeper on that, Noia. Let me know what that is. DNA has been debunked. I know I had that thought. I didn't want to just totally jump down.
Yeah, no, on that. It's good to talk about. Like I said, it's people's. I look at kind of what's being pushed out there, and a lot of times it's not what's really going on. So
yeah, exactly.
Like I'm kind of.
I mean, that's like
those thoughts about it, but it's like.
I was just going to show the back of my book. There is a little DNA there, right? So this was one of my favorite metaphors.
Yeah.
And so now I have to leave that one out because it just doesn't mean what we thought it did.
Well, that's right. And that's part of us, like, and being, part of it too is the courage to actually say the thing out loud and then be corrected. Because a lot of people don't want to also be corrected. They want to stand true in the story.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So I think talking about it and knowing that, well, maybe that's not right. What we are not right. Words, just not truth.
Right.
So then that just, to me, that gives me another avenue of self-discovery, and not relying on, what does this book tell me? It's like, what does this body tell me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful.
And learning how to believe what your own body is actually communicating to you as truth.
It's one of the things I admire so much about you, Melanie, is that you're always willing to put yourself out there And, in Journey Code as an apprentice, you were always the first to put your hand up. I'm going to take that risk. I'll teach that class. I will do this assignment. And I feel it's the same way, because sometimes until you put yourself out, you don't know what's in here.
Mm-hmm. It was a good way to push me and let programming come up, because like maybe this is all human beings, but as a child and stuff, I always felt like I had a bigger, and maybe it's all human beings. Like, I'm not just saying, oh yeah, it's me, I've been chosen, this whole thing. It's like that we have something bigger than just what we're doing. Like that we are more than what we're led to believe that we are capable of. And like after getting sick and almost losing my physical presence here on this earth, I was like, I had so much passion for finding truth and not just theories and conspiracy, but the truth of me and what I was here to express. And what am I here? How am I in service to the world? What am I here to do? What messages am I here? I've been writing songs about journeys and things. And I think one of the gifts I embody is the ability to communicate about experiences. And I think in songwriting or poems, and you put things like that out in the world, and other people can relate. And I'm not, there's songs out there that they're not good to listen to over and over again and instill ideas into the head. But I'm hoping that my songs have messages that inspire people.
They really do.
That I have messages that can create inspiration.
Absolutely.
And I feel really good about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And if you guys are on Facebook, I did post a link to Melanie's Facebook page. And so you can go and you're often posting your beautiful little songs.
I do have a YouTube channel.
Also YouTube? Okay.
Yeah. It's called Honey Days. I will. Yeah. And the funny thing is when you type it in, it doesn't even come up in the as something to click on. So I've had to send out codes to my friends and stuff. So it's interesting. There's a little bee there buzzing around, and there's a daisy. Yeah. Oh, see, so Beth is just checking right now. But so it's typed honey and then DAISE. And
Okay.
just
that's why no one's finding it.
No, but look I still don't come up.
You still don't come up.
No.
Okay, so this is a totally different channel.
There I am right there. Yeah. Actually at the top.
Yeah. If you get the spelling correct, then yes. Yeah, I didn't even know. Now I'm going to sub to you and hit the bell.
Yeah.
There we go. Honey Days. So I'm going to share this link in the chat.
And the reason behind the name, daisies always represent freedom to me.
Nice.
The daisy flower, and honey is the sweetness of that. So a return to sweet innocence.
Oh,
yeah.
How nice is that?
Makes you want to cry.
Yeah.
Or brings tears of joy and like the whole journey of that all.
Nice. That's beautiful. Is there one of these that I could play right now? Would you like to?
Oh my goodness. Oh, how about Remember Who You Are? It got 4,000 views.
Oh yeah, it went viral. Melanie, that's amazing.
And because it kind of goes along the theory of like, remember who you are. And how did I learn how to do that? I went back into nature. So
okay, do you want to cue this up for us?
Sure. Here's a cute little thing that we were doing in practice mode. This is a friend of mine that I play music with, and he's a lot of fun. So anyways, this was not even a, hey, let's record this and put this on YouTube. This was, let's have fun and record this song, and you do whatever you do. So yeah.
That's awesome.
It's called Who You Are.
Nice.
And it's a bit of remembering.
Nice. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
the soil, mud between my toes. Remnants of last night's fire, smoke swirling in the breeze. Breathe in, feel the ease. Sky so blue, trailing with white veils. Is it rain? Is it hail? Or is it chemtrail? Wind speaks to me as it brushes my skin. Hair standing on end, receiving it all. Whispering softly, remember who you are. You
There we are. I knew we were here somewhere.
So
I was disappearing
yeah.
in your spotlight.
So I think that song really speaks to me about nature coding. You talked about coding and how, the bird song was scientifically proven to help regulate our nervous system, and, the whole sky thing. And it's not about, like you said, reprogramming. It's about a remembrance of who we are.
Amen.
And I think that song was really kind of depicting that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Yeah, it's so sweet.
Thank you for sharing that.
You are welcome. And so I am going to grab a link to your YouTube or your fake book as well, since you are pretty regularly posting there. And Melanie's also a member of the House of Free Will. So if you are a member, you can find her there as well. And I do recommend that. It's been really fun, especially recently. There's some new blood and new attention, some new members and more engagement.
Nice.
Yeah. It's been a while. It's a baby. It's still, still a toddler. Like
walking around, falling into things.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting back up.
Yeah. A couple of really interesting things coming up in the House of Free Will is Joel Schaefer's coming to do a workshop. He's the guy that's up on the Toltec shamanism kind of world.
Oh, okay.
And really beautiful, powerful. Yeah. He came to the truth from an entirely different place and tradition, one that I had rejected years ago. Mm-hmm. And it's really fun just to go like, wow, he found the same thing that I did from a totally different place.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love that. That's to me the
Yes.
most exciting of
Yeah.
all. And Alex Michael is coming, who is the conspiracy music guru guy. Have you heard his music?
The solfeggio?
Yep.
I did watch that
Okay.
actually. And the fellow that you see in the videos too, we talked a lot about frequencies and how they've been slightly adjusted. And he was on the same page. So he had sent me another link on Facebook Messenger about that before I even brought it up to him. So it's interesting that we're collaborating because we're both kind of tuning into that same thing that kind of happened with the frequency toning.
Right.
And yeah, so it's interesting. I don't know where our music's going to go. We're aware, but I don't know how to shift that yet. I always like to say the word yet. But yeah, we're definitely aware. And I've been listening to different solfeggio frequency things after that talk. So it was interesting to hear.
Nice. Yeah. So he's coming in the House of Free Will, and he won't be doing a workshop like teaching this kind of stuff. That would be more of an academic approach, but we're just going to sit in the creative soup together.
Nice. Yeah.
And
just see
it just osmosis. Most learning takes place like that. I mean, there's a lot of different levels, but the degree to which you're just absorbing. This is one of the things, like for CreatorCode coming up, for those of you that are part of it, there is going to be a gob of, there's going to be a volume of material. It's been coming out of me. Just this, something new wanted to be created. And, but at the same time, I don't want to turn this into an academic exercise. And more of the emphasis is going to be on actually doing this stuff, doing the deprogramming work. So you can do the transformation live time, not learn about it and then go have to do it, but as a group creating that kind of momentum.
I'd like to just offer something to people that are starting out in this work. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot. And if you think that you have this expectation that you're going to just, grasp it and just know it all, it's not something that you learn and then you're done. It's a bit of a commitment to yourself and your own growth. And I think that's important to know. And it's like, even when I took the course the first year, there's lots I didn't understand. Everyone else might have been getting it, but I was in trauma mode still. And I felt a little bit behind sometimes and things like that. But like you said, when I was ready, I came back into it. And then I was able to hear it or receive it. Because in sympathetic, I couldn't receive, and then a lot of that time, it took me back to my childhood, when I was in school and not felt safe in my environment, I couldn't learn.
Yeah. Poor kids.
So, right? Like anyway, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. But so my advice, if anyone would like it, if you don't, it's all right, is to really be compassionate with yourself when you're trying to learn the new concepts, because they were foreign to me. There was a lot of pushback and resistance in my own body, but I do see the benefit of it, and it's been life-changing for me, and definitely worth my patience.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you came to it, and then you came back to it of your own free will. I didn't put you in a headlock.
No, let's go. I need to help you here. No, it was, and what kind of brought me back, if I might be able to share that small amount,
as much as you like,
was I realized I was downward spiraling again, and I was falling into the shadows of a lot of the archetypal energies, and I was exhausted and stuck again. And then I thought, oh, well, I can go and do the work. And it's like, no, I just want to live down in stuck world for a while, which is okay, because there are things I learned in the shadow world that I wouldn't have seen had I not went down there. Right. Maybe I could have, but how do you know if you're not aware of them? Sometimes they bring that to your awareness.
Exactly.
So it has its purpose. I call it the dark night of the soul, if you want to put a label on it. And I did some digging around in there for a while. And then when I was ready to heal and had enough of that, I came back and started to learn how to kind of deal with what I found on that journey.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. So I think it still is important, So I tried not to, feel. Lots of times I was carrying a little bit of guilt or shame for not continually working on myself. Like, these are all weird things that we think about and are instilled. And it's like you talked, I just want to bring pace back up again. It's like everyone's at their own pace. Everyone takes in information differently. And just having people, just allowing that space for them to do that, I think is really beautiful.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, you can't have the house of free will and then go and try to like engineer and manage people and like go faster, go faster.
Yeah, no.
Like that.
Oh, yeah. And then also, if anyone does want to work with me and do the somatic work with me that I do, and I help people navigate through their nervous systems, feel free to contact me through the Facebook link that Beth sent out, or my email is yogacoachmel@gmail.com. And I see clients on Zoom and in person. I know a lot of you obviously don't live here, but if you would like help or assistance in any way, and you resonate with things that I've said, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to be in service and help you out.
Yeah, Mel, does also in the House of Free Will, there's a recording of your somatics workshop?
There is a recording there. Yeah.
So that if someone wants to get a taste of what it's like to work with Melanie, in addition, there's a ton of other library resources, including upcoming events that are live, the Round Table in Law. So for as little as $3 a month, which is a donation that I don't demand, but I ask for, even if people like couldn't afford it for some reason, I'm not going to keep them out as long as they're the right kind of person. And then you can come and see, what it's like to work with Melanie, which I loved. I thought that was fantastic. You're a really good teacher. You're very present, and and you know your stuff really well. Then you could take her up on, and you do online work as well as in person, correct? Yeah. So they could be literally anywhere in the world.
Yes, they can. I've had clients over in the UK. I've had clients in Mexico. I've worked with people, like, energy works from wherever you are. You don't have to be in the same room with somebody.
Right.
And just so I've done the whole, okay, let's try this out and see if you're receiving results. Did you find value in that? Every time.
Right on.
Every time somebody has said, yes, this is what I needed to do. Like, thank you, so.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And Melanie is an excellent coach, and I'll just blow a little smoke up your butt right now.
Okay.
I look for chances to say that. And Melanie's one of the few that I will trust to work with myself, because I'm so high and mighty. And but honestly, it was a secret agenda, training coaches, so that there were people I felt comfortable working with.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of lost to that most of the spiritual New Age world or the therapeutic world at this stage of the game. It's like archetype quizzes don't work on me anymore. I know what's behind the scene of them. I understand. I've been a pattern hunter for a long time. My brain goes right to it and analyzes what's in the back end and stuff like that. So it's been a huge help to me. I'm eternally grateful that you've been there for me as a partner and a coach at times in a really, really excellent way.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
That means a lot to me, actually.
Right.
A lot. Yeah.
So I endorse Melanie.
Aww.
Yeah.
It was interesting. After we did our last apprenticing, Beth or one of the students, or Beth, I can't remember who it was saying, hey, we should do a 30-day release challenge. And I was looking at the computer and I was like, oh, I still want to do that. And Beth says, and I'm going to throw my name in there to be coached. And immediately I sent her a message, I'll be your coach. Or do you want to do it with me?
Yeah.
Like, I just jumped instantly. I was like, wow. And I was like, wow, did stuff come up? Like, I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I'm not perfect. Why, just all these things. But it helped me to develop what I feel like a very good coaching practice now. And I also incorporate a lot of the coaching work I've learned and the emotional stuff into my somatic yoga classes. Right. So that's kind of where I've integrated what I've learned from you. And also, too, with vision boarding with people, often we have a vision for ourselves and we can't get there. Well, that's, typically because of the programming or thoughts that we have about ourselves in our unconscious. So I also work with people to release on that when they have visions for themselves and can't get there. And also something that I've noticed in my own work that I do with myself, learning how to embody that. There's some days I go into that meditation where I'm looking and stepping into my future and it's not there. The images aren't coming. And what I notice about myself in that point is that there's a disturbance. There's distortion. So what I'll do is stop the meditation and go back into the coaching deprogramming work. And I coach myself, or I get on a call with somebody at some point if I can't find it myself, and release it. Once I feel clear and free of it, then I put the meditation back on and there come the visions again.
Wow.
Okay.
There you go.
So that's where that work is really important for me. Instead of trying to force visions to come in or force outcomes, it's like the distortion will come, right? As a messenger, that's that little golden nugget ticket that'll, so that's where that work comes in. It's like, what emotion am I feeling? What is it wanting? What is the core wound?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to let that go, and then clarity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
have you been ever amazed how quickly you can get through to the other side of something that you thought was
oh gosh,
really big?
Something that I thought I would literally like die from, that I thought was causing me so much pain and agony. And when the programming's let go of, and then you re-ask me how I think about that situation now, I'm like, there's nothing to grasp. There's no suffering. It's like, oh yeah, that's going to happen. Okay. All right.
Just matter of fact.
Matter of fact.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
And then
Yeah.
I'm like, every time it happens, there's a bit of a disbelief. The mechanism starts to kick in. Like, really? Am I really not activated by that?
Yeah. It can't be that easy. It can't be that fast.
It actually can.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And would you qualify if somebody said, is deprogramming work difficult? What would you say to them?
It's a part of it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which part of it is hard?
The part where you have to face the things that you are avoiding, I think would be the hardest part.
Yeah.
The parts that you've kind of tucked away, you don't want to see or face about either your situation or others or yourself, is, I think, a hard pill to swallow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's difficult to face things that maybe you've been telling yourself a story that doesn't agree to. So then there's some conflict that might arise inside. Like, this is the story I've been telling, but it's really not true, because there's a nugget there that's kind of holding hostage a bit, maybe. And it's a hard nut to crack, maybe, to have a look at those things about yourself. Like, for me, a lot of embarrassment and shame comes up in that instance. I can talk about it pretty freely because it happens often. I laugh like it's a joke, but it's really not. When I'm dealing with it, it's difficult. Who wants to face their own shame? Like, like, that's something I ran for my whole life, and now I'm hello, thank you. I'll feel the shame now, and then really, after the shame transmutes itself, was that shame really justified?
Often not.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, who didn't hear you should be ashamed of yourself, or they should be ashamed of themselves, right? It's a cultural mechanism to apply shame. So no surprise we have internalized it to such a great degree in order to be a member of this society and this culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. It is formidable. It is formidable work. I'm sorry. Like it just is. If I said it any other way, then I don't want to mislead people and say, oh, this is a little tiptoe through the tulips and it's going to be
No.
all easy. And I'll say the opposite. It's like, you're going to want to quit.
Yes, there were
Right.
many times I threw myself on the floor and wanted to die. And, you know,
See, this is good promotion. here.
yeah, okay. Way to go. Yeah. But it's truth. And honesty is one of my values, which I learned. I did not know that about myself. And honesty is a value of mine. And, you know, I threw myself on the floor, you know, with fists like a toddler, wanting to die and not move forward. And then somewhere in the back of my head, you know, I heard Beth, you know, just keep going. And I was like, no, I don't want to. You know, and yeah, when you first start, you uncover some stuff, like, especially for me and my age, you know, like I'm not in my 20s. I've got a lot of luggage, you know, I got a lot of baggage. So yes, it bringing some, but it's less, still some of it can be painful, but you understand its purpose.
Yeah.
You know that if the suffering comes up, literally it's a wave in the ocean, and waves only last 60 to 90 seconds.
Yeah.
And when you know that, and you can just hang on while that wave is crashing on you and humbling the crap out of you, if you just hang on, it's gone.
I know. Like magic or a miracle.
Like, if you can kind of withstand that hammering of that emotional turmoil, is what I call it. Actually, it's emotional turmoil. Man, you're golden after that. There's just like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and that's why I like to take it right to the level of the programming, because you can do a lot of that kind of surfing in life. Exactly.
Yeah, and you do move things, but there is more layers, and
yeah, and if you want to make more lasting changes, which never means that old stuff isn't going to come up. It does. I've now lived long enough to see that a lot of stuff comes around, but at new levels. And you know, you're not stuck where you were, but you might find a new place, a new sticky point within a certain dynamic or a pattern of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, go ahead.
Well, what I think like is important to say is this part is, you know, when I said I threw myself on the floor, it felt like I was going to die. And you and I talked about this before, about the brain, you know, doesn't know the difference if you're physically dying or if your ego self survival mechanisms are dying.
Right.
And that's the feeling that you have. So,
right, exactly.
But one of the questions after you're coaching someone through that emotional turmoil later is, and not to put a joke on this, because it's super serious as you're going through it. It feels so real, but did we die?
Right.
No, we're still here.
I know.
So then recognizing that that's just a layer, like a snake who sheds its skin, you know, there's a little bit of pain while that releases, and then you've got this new skin growth now, you know, or a flower. I think of, you know, you're in a tiny little bud enclosed in that safety net, but you gotta kind of break free to grow. Otherwise you'll just stay that forever. And There's a little bit of push that happens, a little bit of pain to get through that.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a meme that has gone around about the violence that a seed goes through, like a bud, right? Like to crack open that shell and to literally die to the form of the seed, so that new growth can come out of it. And so we really, it behooves us to study death and let death be our teacher, which sounds morbid, but it's the most life-giving thing ever. I know. And, you know, I think a lot of times, I think back to getting cancer and things like that. I'm pretty sure I had a big fear of death underlying in my subconscious programming, you know, and I didn't want to look at death or learn about it or I'd face my own mortality. I didn't want to face that.
and then
Sure.
blindsided head on like a brick wall. There it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing. I remember at a very early age being afraid. I was afraid of cancer in particular because I had a medical family full of and they would say the big C. They wouldn't even say the word. It was so frightening. You couldn't use the word.
Yeah.
Right.
It became a really like a scare. It's like, oh,
yeah.
Enemy
within.
Can I talk about it? Can I? Oh, you had that? Oh, you poor thing. It's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh,
yeah.
How do I receive that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I pray for future generations that we know it's advanced toxicity and it is a serious situation. So that's not to take away from it.
That's
is.
right. It was serious. I could have taken the off ramp.
Yeah.
And exited the world. But, something inside me said, no, not yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad I said that to myself.
Yeah, me too.
That was my higher self taking command over everything. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I will never forget our divine meeting.
Yes.
At, I Am Fest.
Alignment.
Yeah.
Alignment.
Exactly.
They say when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? And there she was, and she went through the journey and was really deep diving her own wounding and things. And, the life I lived in didn't know how to do that. The people around me and in my community, we, So a Beth of fresh air.
There you go. Oh, wait, nice.
Even though it was tough work, just reading some of the comments. I almost died, but I didn't. I'm still here. Yeah. There is no death.
Nice.
Death is a stalker. The Grim Reaper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I want to put this up. So I've got some dysfunction in my mouse going on.
Salt to heal the wounds.
The
crying, the salt to heal the wounds inside out. Yeah.
Yeah, the salt and the tears. It's a thing. Like your electrolytes
totally
and the electricity and and there is no death, true story, but you got to go through death to really know that. And death is a stalker. It won't leave you alone, and that's the good part. Believe it or not.
Well,
death teaches you how to live. It's just
yes, it did.
Yeah.
Me facing my own, the possibility that I could die at that point. It forced me to go on a path of learning how to live.
Yeah.
Like it may have taken me. It didn't, and this doesn't just happen overnight. Like I probably had cancer. It was maybe 9 or 10 years ago now.
Right.
So the journey. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do this work now and I'm going to learn how to live in a month. It's like, no. There's a process that you have to go to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Everything accumulates over time and it turns into a journey. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. Live every moment like it's going to be your last. Exactly. That's a cliche for a reason. Right. That's the Toltecs say it too, that be aware of your death every moment that they would say. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Never forget. Some might say, oh, you guys are so dark and so something or other, but I think y'all get me here. And we're actively writing our own intention-filled endings. Love yourself inside out. Beautiful. And the salt to heal the wounds inside. Yeah, interesting how salt became known as a healer. I think about salt a lot.
Here.
Yeah. Always a student, Jenny G. Yep. Why stop learning?
Yeah.
Yeah. And going through the pain of
certain
that.
Exercises
the pain to learn.
With trauma. They're called trauma releasing. Yes. Yeah. And somatics. There's a lot of movements that we do in a somatic class where you are working with the psoas muscle and activating stored emotions, not things, events, things in your hips. And we go through a really gentle way of awakening. They call it awakening the tiger, actually. And after you awaken, you move your legs in a certain positioning. And what happens is your legs will start to tremor. And just like in the wild, when things after being chased will naturally shake. There's videos of a polar bear running because there's a helicopter chasing it and they tranquilize it. And when the freeze response comes off, the polar bear starts to shake and convulse.
Wow.
So I know. But so in the trauma informed movement classes that I do, there is a place where the body is allowed to let go in a really gentle way. It's not scary. It's not like, oh, what's happening to me? It's a beautiful, you become a beautiful witness of your own release.
Nice.
And it's at your own pace, like you say once before. So if the legs are at a cobbler's pose or open position, you have the ability to control the amount that your body's letting go. You do.
Yeah.
Not me. It's your experience. So if you're not sure what's happening and don't want to go through that, you have the ability to close the knees and hug into chest. If you want to allow the experience more because you like it and you want to release, you have the ability to shift your legs into a different position, which will allow more of the impact to release.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Choice is the big thing. That's what I notice with everything, that people are much more likely, I know we talked about, but it bears repeating, that they're much more likely to receive your invitation when they know it's entirely their choice to do it or not. And I always say, how one of the things about my courses, I can't really take credit for it. I don't, honestly, I'm not engineering, I'm not making it happen, but the quality of the relationships that get created through these containers of courses is staggering. Sometimes I look back and I can't believe it. People in 2022 are still meeting every single week. And, that 30-day challenge, I look behind me and I think somebody had already, one of the pairs, maybe even people who are here, had gone like 120 days or something,
Wow.
Never mind 30. Yeah. Yeah. And I know you and I kept going way beyond.
Way past the 30
way
days.
past the 30s. We just lost count.
Well, there was just a bit of a momentum that was happening. And I do release every day. With a coach, no. But with myself, like
Right.
I do take that time if I have a disturbing sensation, that says, hey, have a look at me. It just helps to keep my vessel, that word transparent, I guess, or that clean slate a bit more than to walk around with all the cloudiness.
Exactly. Yeah, the word constipation comes to mind. The same way that
okay.
our physical body gets backed up.
Mhm.
We take in so many experiences. We already have so much stored energy from past experiences. It's really easy to bottleneck. And then a lot of pressure gets created, and you don't want to go there. You'll develop a bigger and bigger aversion to looking in. So it's a kind of, in a way, it's a kind of hygiene. I don't use this word very much, but just every day,
inner hygiene,
right? Like every day you brush your teeth, every day you go to the bathroom, hopefully several times, every day you do some inner work to let the shit go.
Yeah. I think it's really what self-care is all about.
Yeah.
Really is to take a look at yourself and how can I care for you today? Like when you're in that meditative state and you're getting a divine connection with earth and also sky and all of that. And it's like, what do I need right now?
Yeah.
I automatically just do this because it's like, I want my heart to speak to me.
Right.
What can I do for you right now?
Right. Yeah.
It's like, oh, you need to go for a walk. Oh, you need to go and get groceries. Oh, you need to take a bath. You need to take a 5-minute rest. Oh, you need to go to the bathroom.
I know.
Because right? It's like, oh, yeah. It's like, because we become so unconscious to the needs of our body. A lot of the times we're in our heads, and it's, so it's like, what do you need right now when you're panicking, when you feel that state of panic?
Right.
Just that communication that you have, I think, is really embodying self-care.
Exactly. And there's even a shadow on the self-care. I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but there comes times where so much of your attention is on, like, is my body okay? Is my body okay? Did I get what I need? Did I get the nutrients? Do I need to go to the bathroom? And I think it's a lover archetype thing where there's a certain search for perfection and in the physical experience. And I know Garrett comes up against that when people are like, oh, well, I've got a little mole here and I don't like it. And how do I get rid of it? Even that,
How do I get rid of it is
Oh,
the key
yeah.
phrase.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's not getting rid of. It's how can I embrace what this is trying to tell me?
Right. As a way through. Yeah. True. But getting into the fine points, I can see, I'll do it with my home because I have the luxury.
I think like a little bit of an obsession.
It's that lover's obsession,
So there's some
compulsion,
kind of
and perfectionism.
Right. Yeah.
You got it.
Definitely. There is
Yeah.
a trap in that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks
yeah.
for mentioning that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
you
a good
become
point to bring up.
And in this case, it's to me, it's not about balance again. Like, oh, well, a certain amount of time for myself, because life is not balanced, right? Life comes, at least for me anyway, it comes,
Waves,
have a
hills,
big
valleys.
wave, hills, valleys. You
Yeah.
got it exactly. Huge amounts of activity that mean, yeah, you know what? For the last 3 weeks, I've been working every night. But for the year before that, I was almost entirely focused on my health because I had to.
Well, right.
Because I
Yeah.
had accidents, I had to mend them. I had to,
Yeah.
My basic needs became my work for a time.
What word that
Yeah.
comes up for me is cycles.
Yes.
Cycles
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah. Exactly. Cycles and seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this is a season to work and create. Right. And
Well, and then that could go back to like moon theories and just following full moon, new moon, all those kinds of things, waning, waxing, gibbous, like all those states of, don't make any big moves right now. This is a time for introspection. This is a time for release. This is a time to plant new seeds. We have seasons for that. We have moon cycles for that. We have solstices for that.
Mm.
Like there's so many cycles out there, always running.
Exactly. Spoken like a true nature child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That tunes in and capitalizes on that in a really good way.
Yes.
That
Yes.
it's like, oh, there's certain energies
not
favored.
to become obsessed. Like, for me, like,
Right.
it's like, yeah, so I'll maybe catch a new moon and plant some seeds for my life. But if I don't do it every time, it's okay. And then when I feel like I need to release, I'll check. Oh, guess what? There's a full moon coming up. So listening to your body too sometimes about, I don't have to feel like I have to like catch every single one and be like adamant at it. It's like the cycle of it when sometimes I don't feel like I have to release anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have the ultimate free will. Things are not as simple as we want them to be. Right. It's nice to look at the moon. I totally agree with that. I was musing how I used to even choose dates based on moons.
Okay.
Knowing that certain times of the month are going to be easier for people, certain times of the month are going to be harder for them. When would be a good time for me to come in with a message of any kind that it would be receptive? Now I'm more the other way around, where I go surely from my intuition, and then I look backward and I see.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
And then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's why my intuition told me to host here
at this time.
Now when I look at what's going on energetically with planets and things, oh, that kind of made sense now.
I know. It was shocking because it was actually October when I had the dream of CreatorCode. But then when we get to the late December and early January astrology, it's all bang on like crazy. I couldn't even have scripted it that way. And I don't have the skills to look ahead and read and interpret the
maybe
signs.
we do,
but internally,
and energetically,
that's
we do,
right.
Right.
That's right. Exactly.
And when you are clear, going back to attachment aversions, when you release attachment and aversions, you have a clear knowing of like what feels right or not feels right's the wrong word because feelings are.
No, be free with your words.
Okay.
It's exactly it.
Yeah,
It's
like,
exactly it that you see it's in alignment. Let's use
alignment.
your word.
Alignment.
Yeah.
There. That's a better representation. I think is it feels aligned to have it then. Yeah, exactly.
And then you can avoid the pitfalls by deprogramming the perfectionism, the obsession with perfection, the compulsion to like, oh, it's got to be on this date, and
right,
that kind of thing. There's a lot of freedom in releasing that, and then seeing how things seem to align themselves. Like all kinds of really beautiful puzzle pieces come into play that I didn't put there.
Yeah.
And you're just looking back.
Sometimes the universe needs time to orchestrate all of the stuff that's floating around in your vortex. You know, if you're not aligned with it, it's going to float around you until you are.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you come internally aligned, those pieces come to meet you where you are. And everything falls into place.
Exactly. Yeah. And maybe it wasn't perfect, and maybe it wasn't on the exact day
But it was
anything.
It was
whatever.
what it needed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. What a beautiful conversation,
Yeah,
Melanie.
Thank you.
We should do it again.
Yeah. It was good.
Be nice to have her back on, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. And look, we managed to talk the whole entire time moon watching. We'll just finish with some comments.
Illuminati station to control humanity. Don't trust the moon.
Moon watching. It is comforting to know your place in the rhythm of life. Very nice. Thank you, M. The cosmic wink. Full moon makes people lunatics. It really does. Your dad told you about chopping down trees according to the moon cycle. Yep. And all the planting and everything. Don't trust the moon, Kyrene. Is the moon in a lobby? Well, to see this is part of the psyop that we would even question the light in the sky, which I do. I do.
Hey, why would we not question things?
I know. I saw a picture of the moon recently, and every time I look at the moon, I'm like, why is there a weird fake border on the moon? I never remember seeing the weird fake border. Is it my eyes? So I just conclude, oh, it's my eyes. Well, I saw a picture of the moon. There's that weird fake border. What the heck is that? Right? Like, so there's something. There's something.
We can't know everything. I know
can't.
We strive to try, but
yeah, exactly. Where am
I think, you know, when that's also goes back to like forcing answers to come in, you know, we will find out when we find out.
Yeah.
You know, I think letting go of that hunger for knowing everything sometimes is could be another trap as well. Sometimes let things be, but
yeah. And it's what you said is exactly right. The less you grind on trying to figure it out, we know very well, the more insights and revelations that you have that were beyond your thought process.
Yes.
They had to come in.
Yes,
through
they're beyond your thought process. That's a really good way of putting it. That you know, you can try to think yourself out and find solutions out of everything, but to create a new pathway, opening up new parts of the brain that we haven't used before, that we didn't even know existed.
That's it.
You know, it's really rewiring. A lot of the neurological stuff in the trauma things that I do is movement that can help the body rewire. You'll see there's a lot of neurology specialists where, you know, they're doing, it kind of goes back to the EMDR stuff where you move your eyes in a different way or your shoulder moves different, because you're trying to allow the body to move in its own free will, because we put our own limitations on movement based on pain. So when you can create new stories, you can create new range of motion in the body just by moving the body different, moving the eyes in a different direction, things like that. And you can increase range of motion. Like I've seen it, people's faces, their jaws drop in class when I'm doing things with people. There's all kinds of resources too on Instagram. If you know, you guys want to have a look at it. It's no secret out there, but people have profound results. They'll tell me, you know, I've been in a car crash for 15 years and my shoulder can't move, you know, and they'll show up 5 or 6 weeks and have almost full range of motion back in their shoulder.
Wow.
Because they rewired the story.
Nice. Amazing.
You know, and released whatever was there through somatic movement.
Nice. Yeah. Do you want to tell our folks one more time how to reach you? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Sure.
Is it your...
you can email me at yogacoachmel@gmail.com. I don't have a website set up. I don't know what my resistance to that is, but there is one.
I didn't make this clickable just in case the bots grabbed it, but
okay.
yoga coach Mel
At
at
gmail.com.
gmail.com if you want to take a note
If
there.
you want to personally email me, or if you have any questions for me. And then on Facebook, of course, I don't put too much stuff on there, but you can always message me there. And if you're interested in more of my music, which I hope can be an inspiration to others, you can find Honey Days right now on YouTube, spelled Daise, because Honey Daisy was taken, and so I had to be different and a little harder to find.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or I mean, you can always contact Beth sometime in the free
Exactly.
will. Yeah.
The House of Free Will. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're there
Yeah.
on the chat.
I'm in and out sometimes.
Righto. Well, thank you everyone for coming. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Melanie, for joining me. How much fun was that?
It was a lot of fun to talk about stuff.
Right on. Really nice.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. I'm going to play us out as usual. And I have to set that up. Give me a second. Nope. Yep, that was it. The buttons just press themselves after a while. Anything else I want to tell you guys? No, I think we're good to go.
Nice.
Yeah, can't find it. Not used to my angle here.
Oh,
there.
Got to swing over this way more.
Yeah, it's amazing how a little angle can
Right?
change everything.
Oh, hey, it is amazing. That is the key. A little different angle.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
different look at something makes all the difference.
Thanks everyone for coming. Lots of love. Bye for now. Thank you.
Good conversation. Nice.
Oh, my true guide, Lord and supporter of all, forever free from identity. Be well, I'm dwelling in you. Be well, I am dwelling in you. Be well, I am dwelling in you. Vipadrashkanu manta, Shivarita Gupta, Maheshwara, Paramatme, Dijapi Yokto, Deyasmin Purusha Para, Deyasmin Purusha Para, Deyasmin Purusha Thank you.